Democrat of sexual misconduct, in this case, rape.
I did not want to live anymore.
Lana Drews says Swalwell drugged her drink and assaulted her in 2018 after they had attended a few public events together as friends. She's filing a police report. Her attorneys rejecting Swalwell's apology for past mistakes in judgment in a statement that also called allegations false. The resignation of Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez takes effect later today after he admitted an affair with a staffer who died by suicide. Former Michigan football coach Sharon Moore just sentenced to probation, no jail time, after pleading no contest to misdemeanors in connection with a confrontation at a staffer's home after Moore was fired for having an inappropriate relationship with her. This hasn't happened in more than 30 years. Major high-level engagement between Israel and Lebanon. Trilateral talks with the U.S. at the State Department, brokered by Secretary of State Rubio.
This is about bringing a permanent end to 20 or 30 years of Hezbollah's influence.
Israel's been fighting Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon. This as U.S. warships enforce a blockade of Iranian ports.
The blockade is aimed at halting Iran's oil trade, opening up a mostly closed strait, and getting ceasefire talks moving again. President Trump told the New York Post today talks could resume within the next 2 days in Pakistan.
Fox's Greg Palcott. Rising gas prices fueling higher inflation, up 4% year over year in March.
Economists were expecting prices at the wholesale level to jump last month because energy prices rose in response to the Iran conflict. Prices did go up, but not as much as expected.
Fox's Janico Sola. Oil prices plunging today and stocks rallying. The Dow up 317 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani kicks off his city-run grocery store program, naming its first location.
Mayor Mamdani told New Yorkers,
"It is time for a grand experiment once again."
He announced the Harlem location as the first city-owned grocery store site in a brand-new facility that could open next year. Mayor Mamdani plans 5 such stores, 1 in each city borough, with goods sold cheaper than at market chains. He said the store will attract many who rely on federal help.
Nearly 40% of East Harlem residents receive public assistance or SNAP benefits in the last year.
Not everyone likes the mayor's plan, saying 5 city stores can't serve 8 million people and that public markets that already exist will lose business. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
An NFL reporter resigns from The Athletic less than a week after published photos of Diana Russini with the New England Patriots coach at an Arizona resort. Both are married and have downplayed the photos, describing them as innocent and part of a group outing. One of the oldest newspapers in the United States is staying in business after all.
Pittsburgh was going to be the largest U.S. city without a daily newspaper if the Post-Gazette shut down as planned May 3rd after 240 years. Instead, it's being bought and kept in business by the nonprofit Venetoulis Institute for Local Journalism. It runs the Baltimore Banner, launched 4 years ago by hotel executive and philanthropist Stuart Bainum. The Post-Gazette will also be run as a nonprofit, keeping Thursday and Sunday as print publication days, online the rest of the time. Its current owner, Block Communications, says in a statement, "We are excited to hand our treasured paper over to such a committed and creative organization." Chris Foster, Fox News.
Recapping stocks, the Dow up 317, the S&P and the Nasdaq gaining more than 1%, with U.S. oil prices falling under $92 a barrel during the session. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Welcome in. It's The Drive on ESPN Radio 93.5. Typically Curtis Allen and me, Evan Stone, but Curtis decided to go to a concert or something. I don't know what he's doing. Cooper, cousin Coop, just decided he's got school or something like that. So we brought in someone else who sometimes has school, but I guess not right now. So the great one, Kyle Toss, joining us in the studio today. Kyle, how we doing?
I'm great. What's up? I'm excited to be here.
Excited to be here. It has been a minute.
And you stuck me right behind the board again. Like, hey, you do this. It's been a year.
Listen.
I think I've done all right so far, but I'm a little scared.
I actually, no joke, I had a dream last night that I was running the board and I forgot every button and I deleted like every so I knew when I came in. Probably not the day for me on the board.
It's fair.
So
I'll try not to do that. I promised Curtis I wouldn't delete all of his hard work here.
Actually, now that he's not here, there are a few hotkeys I'd like to get in there and delete that he uses when I say something dumb. So we'll see. Surely I doubt he's listening on his way down to wherever this concert is. He said he's going to see... Actually, I don't remember anymore. He listens to music I don't listen to. So, so we're going to have a good time today. I believe we're going to talk some Illinois basketball. We'll talk some spring ball. We're going to talk some NFL draft. The women's basketball coach, Shauna Green's going to join us in about 20-ish minutes. And we're going to talk some coaches versus cancer and some of the stuff that she's got going on. Exciting. Are you going to be at that, Kyle?
I will be. At least for the beginning part of it. They have media availability with Brad and I think maybe a few players, so I will be at that part at least.
Okay. Hopefully some exciting, fun news with I'm assuming if a player is going to be there, that's a pretty good guess they're going to be here.
Supposed to have the whole team there, so we'll see.
Okay.
I've kind of thought that there's a chance that there might be a big announcement at that thing. Just a hunch I have. It's no inside information whatsoever. It's just a feeling like, hey, the whole team's going to be at this event, celebrate the Final Four. Obviously a very meaningful event to Brad Underwood. Maybe, just maybe, there could be something that comes from that.
Something coming through. Now, all the listeners are expecting some real deep insider information.
I don't think I have any of that, unfortunately. I wish I did, but
how's campus?
It's good. Yeah, it was
still there.
It exists still. Yeah, it didn't get burned down after that trip to the Final Four. Alma Mater's still standing despite getting stormed multiple times during that tournament run. It's doing all right.
I do wonder how nervous the university gets. Like, do you think can they damage that thing? It's pretty solid.
It's pretty hard to damage, I think.
You're not going to chip off a nose or something.
Yeah. Depends if you brought spray paint or something like that. Like if we got real crazy. I don't think climbing on top of it can do much to that thing.
Yeah. Is there a lineup for coaches versus cancer? Like, do we know who's going to be with Brad, other coaches, refs?
I don't believe that there are any other coaches this year. I believe it is the team is the guest of honor this year to celebrate the Final Four appearance. At least that's my understanding of it. Okay. So I anticipate that most, if not all, of the 2025-26 roster will be the special guests tomorrow.
Okay. You go to the Final Four, you don't need anybody else. You just tell everyone else go kick rocks. Tony Billich going to be there?
Not sure about him. Yeah, I'd list him as doubtful on the RSVP for that.
Let's go. Kenny on the text line. No other coaches, just honoring the Final Four as the guests. Hit us up, Max Twin City Recycling text line, 217-359-2255. Any questions that you might have for Kyle as he's in studio today. He might be able to answer them. He might not be able to answer them. But let's do this real quick, just as we've talked on the phone lots, but just kind of a recap of where we're at currently as a basketball team coming out of the Final Four. We're waiting on a lot of announcements for hopefully retention, because as far as to my knowledge, there's been nobody technically has announced I'm coming back, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so really the only player on this team as of now is Stephen Vox.
And the incoming freshman class. Yeah, technically, although they're not here yet. So
they're not here yet. So what are we hoping for? What are we looking for in the next couple of days?
To my knowledge, Illinois feels really good about retaining its core guys. The guys that played last year, the rotational pieces that includes David Mirkovic, Tomislav Ivicic, Zvonimir Ivicic, Jake Davis, Andrei Stojakovic, and even Ty Rogers, I think is somebody that's in that bucket as well. Illinois feels really optimistic that all of those guys will be back, and that's been the primary focus throughout the offseason. It just sometimes it takes a while, and there's a lot of moving parts that happen. But to my knowledge, the wait is not indicative of something ominous happening. Illinois believes that they are going to get that core back. Most of their offseason focus has been on that. I think it's been pretty telling that there hasn't been a lot of portal targets for Illinois. It's been Stephen Vox, John Blackwell, a couple other names floated here and there that they've reached out to but not gotten all that far on. That tells me that there's not a whole lot that they need to really add to this roster if they can get that group back, and I would anticipate that will happen and that there will be some good news in the not-so-distant future.
So that's the question that I've asked a lot of different people. Let's say we do retention plus freshman class plus Vox. Are you good to ride with that? Like, obviously, there's a desire. They would love another splash. But do you think that team right there is ready to roll?
I do, and I think Illinois feels good about that group if it comes to that. I think they're being very selective in terms of what that extra addition could look like. Like, John Blackwell's a guy that, with the connection to him that they have and as good of a player as that is, if you have an opportunity to get that guy, you get him and you figure it out, right? I think in terms of other targets, there hasn't been a lot for Illinois. It's been kind of Blackwell focused, and that, to my knowledge, they're not really super actively involved in anybody else right now. And that tells me that they do feel good about the group as they have it. Their offseason isn't riding or dying on another piece. Like, you go back to last offseason, and how much was that offseason? It didn't end up turning out that way because Keaton Wagler had the year he had and David Mirkovic, but like the Andrei Stojakovic recruitment was like, this is going to make or break our team. So you're like, we are missing a piece. We need this guy. I don't think that's how Illinois is operating. I think if they were to enter next season with this current group, they'd feel pretty good about it. And I think you have enough there, because even just looking at when you put Quentin Coleman and Lucas Murillo in the mix, and if you get all those guys back, including Ty Rogers, you got a 9-man rotation that you should feel pretty good about. Now, there's some question marks there in terms of, you look at defense and you look at, there's some athletic limitations, but you have 9 guys that you feel pretty good about can give you good rotational minutes next year.
Yeah, the roller coaster last year of, you bring up Andre, but it really started, if I'm remembering correctly, with Dame Sarr.
Yeah, it did.
As the big recruit that overseas trying to come in and it
was that spot, like you needed somebody, and that was kind of the entire offseason was banking on who are we going to get at that wing spot.
Dame Sarr, and then I guess it was 2 years ago that Igor Demin.
Yegor Demin, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Sure. It felt like, every offseason there was like a guy it was like, man, it rides on this. If we don't get this, there's a huge hole. It's kind of nice rolling into an offseason where you're just adding versus needing.
Yes. It's a good way to put it.
So,
especially now that you have Vox in the fold. Like, you needed a guard and probably a high upside guard, a guy who could play on the ball. Like, they needed that externally, but now you have that. And so now you're not banking on another piece to make or break your roster.
Which, with Vox, now I've been telling people for the last week or so, or at least since he committed, I guess it's only been a couple of days, but that, a couple of texts rolled in, like, great, Jake Davis. He's not a Jake Davis improvement.
No.
He is coming in as like your Keaton Wagler replacement. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. They envision him as being their lead guard next year.
Yeah. Oof, man. I'm really banking on Providence just being a crap program, and that this coaching staff can really draw something out of him. And I think that's probably what he saw as well. I mean, you look at, is Misko his agent as well? No.
He is Excel Sports Management Group as his agency.
Okay. I kind of like that. You're branching out a little bit.
Yeah, you're not only agencies, but region of Europe too.
Yeah.
the Baltics instead of the Balkans.
I'm learning so much. So, yeah, I'm learning about the Baltics. I'm learning about the Balkans. One of the students I hang out with often from campus and some of the other stuff that I do, his family's Norwegian. So he's really helping me with some of this European geography stuff. So I'm feeling good. With that roster, side note, because I know tons of people have questions that nobody can answer, but Ty Rodgers, how do you envision him as a piece, as an athlete? I mean, I assume the only thing he's been doing for 2 years is just shooting because he can't do anything else. Are you hearing anything about how he's developed, about how they want to use him as a piece? How does he fit with this roster?
All of it depends on how healthy he is, first and foremost. And that's been really all this season, has just been trying to get back to full health. Like later in the season, he started to participate in practice a little bit more. But to my understanding, he hasn't been fully healthy even to this point and is still working his way to that. I think you look at the roster and you feel like you kind of need a guy to fill that Benham Rickhouse role a little bit, where I don't expect Ty Rodgers will be a starter on this team or even a guy that plays 20, 25 minutes, but you need a versatile piece off the bench that can guard multiple spots and give you a little bit of athleticism, which he can do if he's fully healthy. The question I would have is the flexibility in the lineups that you can play with him. Like if you're trying to piece together, like, can Ty Rodgers just be Benham Rickhouse from last year for Illinois? In some ways, I think he could be an upgrade defensively as a rebounder. Like, I think a fully healthy Ty Rodgers could probably even improve upon what Ben gave you in those areas. The problem with where Ty is as a jump shooter is the fact that he's not going to give you the floor spacing. Benham Rickhouse was so valuable because you could put him in any lineup that Illinois played and he'd fit seamlessly. It's maybe not quite that clean with Ty just because he doesn't allow you to do what you want to do offensively as much. It gets a little clunky with a guy like Andrei Stojakovic. So I think there's a role for Ty. I have a lot of the same questions of how big that's going to be. I think in an ideal world, Illinois envisions him being kind of that versatile bench wing that can plug a bunch of different spots and really give them defensive rebounding value that you're losing with Rickhouse. You're losing a little bit with Kylan Boswell.
Yeah, that's the thing is when Andre is in and has the ball in his hands, everybody else on the floor has to be at least a threat to shoot, to clear out that space. That's why, honestly, sometimes Andre and Kylan on the floor at the same time was a problem.
They went away from that in the tournament.
Yeah, like it was a struggle because they would, it wasn't so much a dork as we remember back in the day. But you could help off Kylan quite a bit and really clog the lane. And so, yeah, as you saw through the tournament run, you had to kind of shift the lineups and the rotation a little bit. So that will be interesting of how they kind of stagger those minutes. Anybody else like you're excited to see maybe take another step or I know it's a wide open question, but as we look at this roster, what do you see?
I think the most exciting thing is what a year two of David Mirkovic looks like, right? Like that's been, when you look at this offseason, it's been priority number one. Like we cannot let this guy leave our building, kind of almost building around him in a sense of what he could be next year. I'm really excited about what an even enhanced version of David Mirkovic with a second year under his belt. I think Illinois is probably going to run more through him next year. Like I'm not expecting him to be like your point forward where he's bringing the ball up the floor every time down and is serving as your point guard. But I think there will be a lot of action that triggers through him next year, even more so than this year. And I think he can just continue to grow, especially as a post player, as a guy who can do some things off the bounce that developed as the season went along, as a driver. Like I think he'll get better defensively. Showed some of that even in that UConn game. So I'm really excited. I think that could be your next all Big Ten first team guy in him.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't mature. I don't want anybody giving him PR training. Just let
nobody
him be
on this team. Yeah, just hands off.
Come on. Just let this team continue to be this team. So I'm excited to see, potentially tomorrow night, today's Tuesday. So Coaches vs. Cancer is tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
What tomorrow night could look like with this team and some of the quotes and all that good stuff will come out of there. So you go to Gordyville often?
I don't. No. The only time I've ever been there was for this event last year.
You don't ever go shopping?
No, I don't.
Man, my parents used to be out there all the time. They had a booth for a while doing all sorts of crafts. I don't know. Not my world. But what is my world is sports, and we've got the one, the only Coach Shauna Green who's going to join us here in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that she's got going on. Excited to do that, and then we got some things that we're gonna tap into for the rest of this show. It's a wonderful, beautiful, almost humid.
It is very
kind of muggy, awesome, warm Tuesday afternoon. We'll catch a break, and when we come back, Shauna Green on the drive.
Stevie J Broadcasting is your concert connection with free tickets to great shows at the City Center, 505 South Chestnut in Champaign, near Neal and Green. Text Kylie Morgan for the Friday, April 24th concert to 217-359-2255. Try to win a free pair of tickets. Text 217-359-2255 and good luck from Stevie J Broadcasting. Details about the shows at citycenterchampaign.com.
Looking for a warm, welcoming place to relax in Tuscola? Stop by Hometown Grounds, where great coffee and great company come together. They're proudly serving Mad Goat coffee, so you can enjoy a rich, delicious cup while catching up with friends. And if you've got kids, no problem. There's a special play area where they can have fun and you sit back and relax. Hometown Grounds is a gathering place for the whole community and perfect for meetings. Come see what everyone's talking about in Tuscola. Visit hometowngroundscoffee.com and plan your visit today.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone.
We're always looking for people. You can go online and apply on our website. We never know what we're going to need. We're always expanding. We're always building more and growing our business. If we don't need a person and they come along and we find out that they're an eagle, they're a star, we'll hire them. We'll put them somewhere and wait for the spot we're going to have them working.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
BMW, Buick, GMC, Honda, and Subaru. Welcome to Sarah Champagne. We can handle all your car repairs on site, including paintless dent repair, bumpers, windshields, everything in between. We have an amazing selection of new or pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Shop from home and buy online or reserve your vehicle before it hits our website or dealership. Sarah Champagne is home of the Sarah One Price Promise, delivering an honest and transparent buying experience. Hurry in or shop online at sarahchampagne.com.
Pia's Sports Bar and Grill is your place to watch Major League Baseball games and enjoy pitchers of your favorite beer, including Coors Light, Yuengling Lager, Yuengling Flight, and Miller Lite. Home of the Slugger Burger. Meet friends on the patio and watch your favorite sports on multiple flat-screen TVs. If your team is looking to gather after the game, that's been a Pia's tradition since 1975. Pia's, open early with Big Tito's Bloody Marys. Pia's Sports Bar and Grill, 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Hi, this is Damon Hackelman, owner of Clean Ride in Champaign. As winter fades and spring rains move in, melting snow, heavy storms, and stressed pipes can quickly turn into flooding and water damage for homes and businesses across Champaign County. When water shows up where it shouldn't, every minute matters. At Clean Right, we're a family-owned and operated company with deep roots in this community, and we're ready with a 24/7 emergency response. Our certified, experienced technicians arrive fast to assess the damage and start the restoration process right away. Whether it's a flooded basement, burst pipe, or storm damage, we work to make the recovery quick and as stress-free as possible. Our mission is to return your property to clean, safe, like-new condition so you can get back to normal. We work alongside trusted expert partners to make the restoration process smooth and stress-free, guiding you every step of the way. Learn more or request emergency service anytime at cleanright.net.
Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Welcome back. It's The Drive on ESPN Radio 93.5. Evan Stone here. No Curtis, no Cooper, but Kyle, so upgrade. And wonderful news. Just saw on the old X machine that Illini women's basketball guard Destiny Jackson said, yeah, I'm coming back. So someone who I know is probably pretty excited about that. Illini women's head basketball coach, Coach Shauna Green, on with us. Coach Green, how we doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Yeah. So, all right, before we jump into a bunch of the stuff going on, how unique of a world is it now as a college basketball coach where it feels like, okay, we make a run, a season ends, and we're right back at it trying to figure out transfer portal, our own team, our own roster, and all that's going on?
Yeah, it's definitely different. You always kind of have do this at the end of every year, no matter what. But it is a different time now, and the landscape's changed a little bit. So as soon as your season's done, you're right into just seeing what your team's going to be with your current roster, and then obviously when the portal opens. So our whole thing, though, this entire year, and a lot of people have heard me say it, is retention and retaining. I love this roster. I love how far we came and how much we grew, and I was adamant about that all year. Is we're not going to go out and search the portal. We want to retain this roster. So, and then pick up a piece here or there in the portal. So that's been our main focus, and hopefully that'll be the case for the majority and the core group of this team.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that piece you picked up so far right now in Transfer Divine. What did you see in her game? I know you recruited her a lot coming out of high school. What did you see from her that excited you about the opportunity to reconnect?
Yeah, I mean, we recruited her, for a few years. As soon as we got here, we really started recruiting Divine, and she's from Iowa, where I'm from, and actually played in a conference that I played in high school. So, was able to watch her in the high school scene for a couple of years, and also on the AAU circuit. And she just brings so many different things. She's versatile. She's long. She's athletic. Great size, and about 5'11", 6 foot. Played some point guard, but obviously can play really 1 through 4. So just the versatility and on both offense and defense, I really, really love that about her.
Okay, one more basketball question before we get into some exciting stuff that you got going on. We talked maybe in October. It was before the season really kicked off, and just kind of the excitement, the challenge ahead of having such a young team, coming from a team that was so experienced with Kendall, with all the athletes that you had. Now that you've gone through the year, what was so fun about having a team full of maybe inexperienced, but just excited, happy to play basketball athletes?
Yeah, no, it was so different, and I know I said that at the beginning of the year. I knew it would be different. You had a group that had been with us for 3 years, and we knew each other inside and out, and then you go to the complete opposite of a ton of young new people into our program and our culture, and having to literally teach everything from the ground up and instill the culture from the ground up. But it was so much fun. And this group, they're just such a joy to coach. They're a joy to be around. They're so hungry. They were so coachable. They all just want to be the best versions of themselves, and they're willing to put the work in. So it was a great group. I really, I said my word going into this year was patience. And to be honest, I thought we'd probably have a few more bumps in the road, with such an inexperienced team. And they just continued every day to amaze me and how they picked stuff up, how they responded, how they adapted, how they applied. They're just a great group. And like I said, I haven't been this excited in the off season, maybe in my entire career, about just getting back on the court and getting this group back in the gym and really starting to just build and work towards next year.
Okay, I kind of lied. One more basketball question. You did so for NCAA tournament, you traveled down to Nashville. Vanderbilt hosted. They have one of the most unique basketball arenas, the benches at the baseline instead of the sideline. How was that weird to adjust to for that game? Does it make it more complicated? Is it easier? Like what was that like as a tactician?
No, it's definitely different. And I'd played there my senior year in college, so I played there, and then I coached there as an assistant coach when I was at Dayton. But it's different when you're the head coach, and you're so used to having that bench on the side and working the sideline, and then you're out there and you're literally on an island. So anytime you need to go and talk to your players or talk to your assistant coaches, you got to go all the way back down. So it was definitely different. I definitely, do not like it and wouldn't prefer that. But I got a little bit more comfortable with it in the second game. But, yeah, it's very unique. No one else has it. I don't know why they continue to have it. The setup's a little different. If you probably couldn't see if you had it on the sideline. But, it was definitely a lot harder to communicate. We had practiced it leading into the NCAA tournament of me making calls, with loud music from the baseline, but a lot harder to communicate for sure with your players on the court.
Yeah, I just imagine there's a few times you turn around to yell at someone and no one's there. And you got to, gosh, now I got to run down the sideline to yell at somebody. So I just thought.
I said, as a player, I remember I liked it because I'm like, yeah, I can't hear my coach, yelling anything. So I'm like, they can't pull anything. I know all the tricks. I was there as a player.
It's wild. So what exciting is coming up? What you got going on this week?
Right now, it's just we're in workouts. They're back in the gym. They're doing individual stuff, and just with the position coaches. So really trying to get better individually. They're in the weight room and working with Coach Kylie, and a real big emphasis right now on skill set, on the mental aspect of it, nutrition, and strength and conditioning. So, and just getting, there's some nagging injuries throughout the year. So getting everyone as healthy as we can, feeling really, really good. So we are up and running and 100% as we come back in June.
So now are you going to find yourself then tomorrow heading out to Gordyville for this Coaches versus Cancer program?
Yeah, I will be out there.
So if someone came up and was like, hey, Coach, can I get an autograph? What are you charging per autograph nowadays?
I don't know. It just depends on who it is. So I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, that's a great event. I've been there. I think I've been out there every year I've been here, but maybe one, it didn't work with my schedule. Just an unbelievable event for a great cause. So if I'm in town, I'm going to try to always get out there and support. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's something that I know a lot of people are excited about. Just a unique opportunity for athletes at the University of Illinois and the community to do stuff together that's not so structured. So it's kind of cool to see everyone as real human beings for once.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's a great event.
Great event. One more question now, because you, once again, I think a sign of a successful program and really, honestly, a successful head coach is when assistant coaches get head coaching jobs and get to move on and go somewhere else. So can you just spend a minute or so and talk about your assistant coach who is now the head coach at Morehead State and how excited you are for that opportunity?
Yeah, that's what this is about. If someone has a dream, to be a head coach. I was an assistant for a lot of years, and that was my dream. And so we're going to help them get there. And she had this opportunity, and she's from Kentucky. So it's just a great move for Jackie to be closer to her family and to get to lead her own program. So she was only with us a year, but just super grateful for all that she did for me and for our program, for our players. Yeah, I could not be more excited for her.
And then just for a normal person, without, spilling any beans or anything you're not supposed to be talking about, when you then open the opportunity or the door opens for an assistant coach to then join the team and join the staff, is that something where you as a head coach, you kind of already got some people in your back pocket, or a ton of people start reaching out like, hey, I would love to, I've seen what you guys are doing, I'd love to join? Is it a mixture of both? How does that work for someone who's running their own program?
Yeah, it's a mixture of both. I always have, a list, and you got to keep that, for kind of all different positions of some names and people. And then, once it does, they see someone leaves or someone gets a head job, then obviously a lot of people reach out, and that first few days we had a ton of interest in it, and I think that just speaks volumes to what we've done, and I mean our staff. I say this all the time, and I mean it. We have the best staff in the country, and I have multiple people on my staff that no doubt they are head coaches, and then they're just I have a lot of head coaches on that help me every day. So they're absolutely the best. So there was a lot of interest in this position, and there's still some more people reaching out. So I'm going to be, I take my time with hires. I never make quick decisions. It's just like recruiting. You want to make sure it's the best person to fit our culture, our needs right now. And then, we'll take our time and make sure we find that right person.
So when do you get to go on family vacation?
I always we scheduled a year in advance every year. So then because otherwise I will never do it. Something will come up. So we go, that first week in June is always our week. And then our kids come back and move back in here. I think we start up like June 12th. So perfect time, kind of right before everyone comes back and we get rolling for the summer. We get away for a week and go down to Florida. So few more weeks for that, another month or so.
Yeah, just good to relax. Okay, we had a texter text in on our Maximum City Recycling text line. Just said, make sure to ask about how great of an athlete Coach's son is. So do you have a son who's a great athlete?
I don't want to give him that much credit. So, he's a coach's son, so I'm very hard on him, but he's trying. He loves basketball. He loves flag football right now. I don't know if he'll play regular football, but my main thing is that he enjoys playing the game and he likes to play it, and he's having fun with it. I don't want to add any more pressure than I probably already do to him. So.
Well, one of the unique things on the men's side this year was the awesome story of, Coach Underwood mentioned multiple times about just being a parent and a head coach at the same time and how much you miss, but then getting the opportunity to go to the Final Four with his son on the bench, the first person he hugged. What is that balance like as a parent, trying to be there for your kids' moments, the athletics, but also, you're running a program?
It's really hard, and I don't think a lot of people fully understand the time commitment that this job entails, and I love it, and it's my passion, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But there are some sacrifices you have to make, and your family has to make, right? And that's why it was so awesome. Like I can't even imagine like what Brad's experiencing, like going through a year like this with getting to work and be around your son every single day. I mean, that when you really think about it, like, how amazing is that, right? Like, and then to be able to go on to Final Four. So it's just that's a unique and awesome story. But it is, I miss a lot. I'm gone a lot. And then sometimes when you're home, you're home physically, but sometimes your mind, and I work on it. I'm trying to be better with it, but your mind's in a lot of different places, or you're on the phone a lot. So a lot of great things they'll come from. And he's my husband and Mateo have been able to experience so many unbelievable things, but there are some sacrifices too that we all have to make.
Yeah, and I sometimes that's life in general. Coach Lindy says he wants you to know he's the one who said that. So he's the coach who says no, great athlete. So
that's great.
I love the connection we have as a community and just being a part of it. Another thing that I think your program has done so well the last year is the connection that you've made with fans, with families. Obviously, you have the field trip game every year that I bring my earplugs. It's the one thing a year I bring earplugs for because it is crazy. Hopefully the 6-7 thing has died out by the next time that game happens. But just in general, the amount of fans that you guys have had coming out for games, what has that been like as a team, as a program, to see that growing and to maybe one of the only tangible things that's like, okay, we're doing something right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just so grateful and appreciate our community and everyone that, has supported our program, our team throughout the years. I think we're gaining new people each and every year. That's why that Kids Day game is always so great because, when my husband's a teacher and he brings his class there, and to hear, a lot of those stories, that kid's never been to a college, sporting event, and some of it's the first time. And if we could, maybe even spark an interest in athletics or anything, right? Like it's pretty awesome. So, we're just going to continue to try to grow this thing. And I said that from day one, if we're going to be, a high level program that's going to compete for championships, we need the community and we need that support. You can't be a top team and have an empty arena. It doesn't, those two things don't go hand in hand. So, I'm super pumped about how, if you look at our attendance every year, it continues to rise. And I'm also going to continue to, to beg and plead and whatever I need to do to get more people out there, and we can continue to fill up State Farm Center, even more. We had the sellout this year, but why can't we have multiple of them? And why can't we, average 8,000 to 10,000 instead of around 5,000, right? So I just think to continue to build this, we can never be satisfied. We can be grateful. We can be proud of the growth, which I am, but I want to continue to strive for more. And never get complacent.
Well, and one of the things that I think that you've done that is incredible with that and building that connection is the way that you address the fans after each game. Is that something you've always done? Is that something that you've just picked up and realized it's a wonderful opportunity to connect? How did that come about?
Yeah, I started it at Dayton, and we did that there after every game. I would just thank the people for coming out, and I think in the women's side, there has to be that connection and that family feel, and where people feel like they're part of the team. And when you have that investment, I just think it means more. And so that was something I started there and just carried over here. And, I am like, people have time. People have, a lot of things going on in their lives. There's a lot of things you can do with your money. So for them to invest and to come and spend the time at our games and spend the money at our games, I want them to know that myself, our staff, and our entire program, we just appreciate it and we're grateful for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've said all year that we really feel like your program does it right. You're just trying to get people and families, and I think a lot of the time it's just because people don't know something exists, and so once you present them to it and show them what it actually is, they realize, oh, this is awesome. So that's the goal for this next year. Also, I never want to watch a basketball game with a messed up sideline bench again. So let's just host a tournament game here next year. How about that?
That's the goal. That is what we're talking about. That is what we are going to be on a mission for. So I totally agree with you guys.
Okay. Well, we'll be there and we'll keep pushing if it happens. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Where can people follow you on socials or follow the women's program on the socials if they want to give it a follow?
Oh, jeez, you're gonna. You put me on the spot, and I don't know what my handle is.
You don't know what? Yeah. Well, that's the sign of an incredibly successful and awesome person. Is I have no idea what my handle is. You know what? We'll get it on our socials, and we'll tag it, and we'll make sure people can hit y'all up.
Thank you, guys.
So,
man, you had to put me on the spot. The one thing I can't answer. I can answer anything else, but I don't know that. So.
Well, if I had to choose one thing you couldn't answer, that'd be the one.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, absolutely. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Coach Shauna Green, awesome to jump on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us. 217-359-2255 is the Max Twin City Recycling text line if you want to shoot in some questions or some thoughts. When we come back, we do have quite a few questions for Kyle. Some personal ones, some sports ones, some real personal ones. We might not get into those, but we'll see what happens. That's next on The Drive.
This is Paul Reekin with Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. This April, pick any day of the month. Don't miss our spring cleaning, scratch and dent, and or discontinued sale event of the century. We're talking 50, 60, 70% off the already reduced price. Wow! Now's the time to replace that dishwasher that's barely washing dishes. Here we have a dishwasher with a small dent on the door. Your kids are playing football in the kitchen every night while you're making dinner. Sorry, Mom. is going to get dented anyway. Now you have a fully functional dishwasher and you saved $400. How about a refrigerator? Last year's model, not a single scratch. Save yourself $1,000 and put it towards the family summer vacation. Awesome! A new vent hood above your range. Be honest, you haven't looked at those grease filters since the late 90s. Buy a closeout hood and watch it shine from a room over for the next quarter century. It's the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Spring Cleaning, Scratch and Dent, and or discontinued closeout appliance sale of the century. You don't have to rush. The sale is going on the whole month of April. Unless it's April 29th, you might want to hurry.
Wow! I'm Taylor Reefstack.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Reefstack. I'm the co-owner of Shimmer and Chic Boutique.
We are a women's clothing boutique in downtown Tuscola. We specialize in unique women's fashions. We have a wide range of tops, dresses, jeans, and accessories. Come down and let us style you for spring.
We have a huge Tuscola Warrior Room, women's, men's, children's, unique items.
Shimmer and Chic Boutique is located at 101 North Main Street in downtown Tuscola.
We're talking with Riley Kachaturian, realtor with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. Do you envision being friends with the people that you close houses with? I mean, does that keep going?
Oh, absolutely. I love getting to check back in with them a couple weeks after, a couple months after, a year later. It's a really cool part that we get to stay with them and be a resource for them, but also to get to be a friend.
All right, as a real estate agent, it's kind of a 24/7. You're thinking about stuff. You got to make this call. You got to check on these questions, and that's okay?
Yeah, I think it's a job that really is kind of a lifestyle. People are trusting you with something really big, and so you want to be available, be ready when they have a question or they're freaking out about something. I want to be the person they text so I can reassure them or provide information.
Riley, how can people reach you?
They can find me online at rkachaturian.coldwellhomes.com or via phone 217-552-5055.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
You know, with like Lands Inc., we specialize in, we've got an amazing HVAC department that takes care of your furnace, you know, your heat system, air conditioning, they do
pumps,
that.
yeah.
And for us in Underground, we take care of all your pipes that come into your home, leave your home, and work around your home to keep it dry, you know, your drainage system, sump pumps, things like that. And exactly what you said, if you don't know, you know, a couple decades ago, it was more like, oh, something broke, go fix it, repair it, no big deal. Well, now with the technology, we have cameras, like you said, that we can come in on these Orange Comfort Clubs, and we can camera your sewer lines underneath your house and check them out just to make sure they're fine. If there's something wrong with it, we can show you right then. You know, truth is in seeing it.
Yeah.
We show it to you, and then you can plan as a homeowner for making those repairs or dealing with that issue later on. If it's an immediate need, at least you're not caught off surprise.
That sewer camera inspection with a proper clean out. I was just learning more at landsinc.com.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Great conversation with Coach Shauna Green, sitting here on ESPN Radio 93.5, The Drive. I don't know what that is. My computer...
I recognize that voice.
My computer just freaked out, and it's playing... Yeah, I recognize that voice. I'm a little nervous of what it's trying to say. I don't know what's
You never know what's going to come out of that mouth, so we better figure this out.
I am not sure what's happening. Okay, there we go. There we go. Evan Stone here, Kyle Tosk. Just having a great, wonderful, humid Tuesday. Okay, question that did come in that is interesting to me. I wanted to get into this too. This is Jason in Monticello. Said, question for Kyle. Who are our major non-conference opponents next year? I know we owe some return games. I know we got some neutral site games as well. Obviously, Coach Underwood loves to challenge his team in the non-conference. What do we got? What's interesting?
As of right now, there's only 3 games set on that non-conference schedule. One of them is bragging rights, of course. The other two are the return game in Lubbock at Texas Tech.
Okay.
And then UConn coming to Chicago to return that game from MSG.
Just can't get away from them.
Cannot get away from them. Only one more.
Only one more.
And then you can be done with them forever, hopefully.
They're just going to keep putting us in the same regional for March Madness every year. Every year, it's just going to be us and freaking Dan Hurley.
But yeah, I would imagine that some non-conference news will start to trickle out over the next month or two here because Brad Underwood's going to schedule more. He said he's been on record to say he wants to play a game at MSG every year. So that'll probably happen at some point. I wonder if you could schedule a home-and-home with Rick Pitino and St. John's potentially. Yeah. That's one that I think is on the radar at some point. We'll see. There'll be some more additions. I'm sure there'll be another home-and-home that starts in Champaign with somebody too.
Who else in that kind of northeast? It's not New England, but kind of that northeast region would be an interesting enough matchup at Madison Square Garden.
It's a good question. It's not a lot.
Yeah, it's not like the when you think of the old school Big East and the power programs that were there, it's like, well, does Georgetown excite anybody? No,
Syracuse doesn't anymore.
No. I mean, St. John's and UConn are kind of the only two programs that I would look at Madison Square Garden and say, yeah, those are probably good enough to go play there.
Right, but they also have the Jimmy V Classic where they'll attract whoever it is. You can play North Carolina or Arizona. That event attracts everybody. So I think there could be a game with somebody not out in that area too at MSG, and the Duke game from 2 years ago was an example of that.
Yeah.
Let's maybe not relive that one.
Yeah, I'd rather not. It was record-breaking. It was history, that's for sure. That brings up another interesting question. It always surprises me how long it takes to set the basketball schedule in stone. Like how you can be here because football's like 4 years out. It's like we're
2036 and there's already 2 games scheduled.
Jeez, we're out there, and I know basketball is easier to organize some of that stuff. But do you think in the Underwood era, are the invitationals or the tournaments are they done? Do you think? Like Maui and.
Brad has said that he does not like the multi-day events anymore and that he doesn't envision himself playing in those, which I understand. Like, I think he'd rather just have the standalone games that you could prepare for and you're not, the Maui trip I think can be difficult on teams, especially early in the season. As great of an event as that is, I think being able to just play these standalone games makes some sense. I am curious, though, because there was the report a few months ago that there's going to be some college basketball games in Croatia and Serbia.
Of course.
I would imagine Illinois is at the top of the list of invites to those games. Now, does Illinois make those trips? I would think there is a chance, given what this roster looks like, that Illinois could be a participant. If that actually happens, I'm still skeptical that ultimately comes together. But if it does, I think there's a chance Illinois will be a participant there.
A regular season game in Europe is just wild.
It is. And that would go against everything Brad has said in the past of, like, we don't want to go to Maui because the travel screws us up and everything. So, okay, well, we're going to Serbia then? But
listen, there's no recruits in Maui that he wants.
It's true.
That's what.
It's a really, really good point.
I mean, that's crazy because the whole original, like the idea of those tournaments in theory was it helped you prepare for March because you had the back-to-backs, you had the one-day turnarounds, like you're doing that all super quick. But yeah, just the logistics now, I think what teams, especially post-COVID, because post-COVID, when a lot of those disappeared, you had the MTEs, the multiple team events, where Illinois was actually hosting a bunch of teams.
They did kind of an impromptu one during that COVID season.
Yeah.
Where they had Ohio.
Jason Preston, baby.
Man, that game was
Vanderplas. That was crazy. I thought after that game, I was like, well, we might as well pack it in, like, I don't know. But also because of that game, it made it really easy to predict that Ohio was going to upset Virginia in the tournament that year. So
I had that as well. I remember that.
Yeah, that was one of the easier upset picks of all time. Okay. Wade sends in, because this has been making some rounds. I don't know if you know anything about this. Coach Underwood and assistants are in California. I don't think that's true, but have you heard anything specifically? To speak to John Blackwell, who's out there on a visit.
I do believe that Illinois has been in contact with John Blackwell recently in California.
Okay. In California.
I don't think Brad Underwood and his entire staff was there, but
Okay.
I believe Illinois has met with John Blackwell.
So they're doing everything that because I know the talking point has been he's not necessarily needing to come visit here because there's been so much of a connection already. He's been around. His family friends, they all know the facilities, the programs, so they don't necessarily need to visit. I do get a little leery, though, when other programs are getting visits and you're not.
Here's what I'll say about the UCLA visit, because that's where he was today. He made a visit to UCLA.
Yep.
He has been in L.A. since Wisconsin season ended. I don't know if he just trains out there, spends his off season out there, but he has, since Wisconsin lost a high point in the NCAA tournament, he has been out in L.A. So I don't believe that there are any other visits currently scheduled for him. I think there's a chance that was just, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
UCLA's after me. Why not stop by the campus for a day? I'm 10 minutes away type of thing. I wouldn't read that much into that, but I definitely see the point that you bring up in that, if one team's getting a visit and you're not, that could be ominous to an extent. I do think the programs, Duke, Illinois, I think Louisville's been involved as well. All those teams have met with him, even if it hasn't been on campus.
Yeah.
The UCLA is the only actual visit he's taken, but I think part of that has just been kind of where he's been at.
Well, if I lived in Wisconsin and lost a high point in the tournament, I'd go to LA too. I'd be like, I'm out of here. So, which also I think that's where that's where he lives. That's where his agent's at. They're all based out of LA. So that makes it a little bit easier. Now, also, I think I saw a report either last night or this morning because he was supposed to visit Duke, but maybe that's not going to happen now. At least you can't speak to that.
I don't know anything about that really. I don't even to my knowledge there has never been a Duke visit scheduled, but maybe there has.
Well, I just throw stuff out there and hope it's true.
There's a lot.
Yeah. I heard he committed to Illinois this morning.
Oh,
thoughts.
What a pickup.
That's all I do. I just throw stuff out there and see what happens. I keep telling people I'm not a real media person, so
it is hard to filter through all the different rumors and things that go around during portal season. It is impossible.
Dude, well, now it's like, okay, this is what social media has done. Everybody has a platform, and everybody can have an anonymous platform. And now you can just start throwing stuff out there, and because so many people want it to be true, they'll just run with it. And they'll say, yeah, this is it. And then they'll wonder why, real media people like you won't actually comment on it. And you're like, why would I comment on something that we have no connection and nobody knows if this is actually happening and probably most likely is not happening? But that's the world we live in.
Indeed.
So I feel for you a lot of days. As we're trying to...
There's a lot tougher life to live than that one.
Sometimes. Yeah, Joe in Saybrook says, once again, I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's true. He plays basketball at Wisconsin, yet Blackwell lives in California. Explain that one to me, please. Well, I mean, Tommy plays basketball in Illinois, but where's his family live? Not in Illinois. So yeah,
very
that's
far from Illinois.
Yeah. So yeah.
When he gets time off in the off season, he is not in the United States usually.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what most of these athletes do not just pick up and then live where they play college basketball. So yeah, that's how that works. J Money with a great question. What's going on with that decommit in football? Who do we pick up now? We're going to actually address that in the next hour. We're going to go into some Illinois football and some stuff that I'm excited about and what's coming up. Yeah, and are you privy on the football side at all? I know you're more basketball, but
I'm more just a fan on the football side. I'm not as much of the reporter insider when it comes to that. But
I'll educate you a little bit in this next hour.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think, okay, let's just, we have how much time before we get to news?
20 seconds.
Oh, plenty of time. I'm going to tell you right now, as I feel pretty good about a lot of fun retention stuff coming out in the next 27 hours. But then on the side of that, I think you get retention, you get Stephen Vox, and let's go to Detroit next year. What do you say to that?
Sign me up.
Sign me up.
I'll be there.
All right. Time for news.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Gonzalez will take effect. The Texas Republican moving up his planned retirement under a threat of expulsion after admitting an affair with an aide who died by suicide. The Gonzalez letter read into the record by the House clerk.
The clerk also read California Democrat Eric Swalwell's resignation, which said expulsion without due process is wrong.
But it's also wrong for my constituents to have me distracted from my duties.
Governors Greg Abbott of Texas and Gavin Newsom of California have the option to decide when or if special elections for the vacated seats will be held.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Swalwell's resignation taking effect just hours after a woman publicly accused him of rape, adding to several misconduct accusers. He has said he'll fight false allegations. Day 2 of a U.S. blockade of Iranian ports, though last week's ceasefire appears to be holding as the U.S. pushes for more talks on a deal with Iran. The State Department hosting talks between Israel and Lebanon.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosted the ambassadors of Israel and Lebanon, marking the first major high-level engagement between the two countries since 1993. The talks come as Israel expands a military invasion into Lebanon to take out Hezbollah militants. The State Department spokesman says Israel expressed its commitment to work with the government of Lebanon to disarm and dismantle terror infrastructure in the country. Lebanon called for a full implementation of a ceasefire announced in 2024 and measures to alleviate a severe humanitarian crisis.
Fox's Jared Halpern. More talks are expected. A divided appeals court panel says a federal judge must end his contempt investigation of the Trump administration for failing to comply with an order to turn around planes carrying Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador last year. The judge accused the administration of intentionally violating his orders, but today's ruling calls the judge's probe intrusive. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
A former college football coach avoids jail time after pleading no contest in connection with a confrontation at a former staffer's home hours after being fired over an affair.
Sharon Moore in court in Ann Arbor telling a judge,
I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for his grace and guidance during this difficult time. I've taken this process very seriously.
Before he was sentenced to 18 months probation and fines following a no-contest plea to misdemeanor counts stemming from a home invasion and stalking incident last December with his former assistant and mistress. The judge warning Moore.
Should there be a violation, all bets are off the table.
The married father of 3 fired by the University of Michigan, the school citing an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Hundreds of 7-Eleven stores are expected to shut down this year.
It might be more difficult for you to get your Slurpee fix. 7-Eleven's North American operator plans to close around 645 stores in the 2026 fiscal year, which is more than the 205 locations it forecasts it will open during that time. 7&I Holdings, its Japan-based parent, said these closures include the conversion to wholesale fuel stores. The company is not giving details about the closures or specifying which locations could be impacted.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. The convenience chain is also revamping its format to food-forward stores with an emphasis on prepared meals, drinks, and an upgraded in-store experience. 7-Eleven has more than 86,000 locations in 19 countries. Arraignment day in California for a man facing multiple counts, including attempted murder, for attacks on the OpenAI headquarters and the home of founder Sam Altman. Prosecutors want the 20-year-old suspect held without bail. Back-to-back rallies on Wall Street as oil prices slide. The Dow up 317 points, the Nasdaq up 455. That's nearly 2%. The S&P just shy of a record close. Elisa Brady, Fox News.
You've heard about the doggy bag, right? From Bulldog Disposal Muhammad, a 6 cubic yard canvas bag that can be used for easy cleanup instead of a big dumpster. The one-time use bag is now available and you can save the delivery charge. Get the doggy bag at Do It Best Hardware in Champaign at 107 West Springfield. So fill up the bag, call Bulldog Disposal, have it disposed of, and you'll be organized. Go to bulldoggybag.com for all the details. That's bulldoggybag.com.
You ever notice how 1 yard on the block just looks better? Since 1977, Spring Green has been the locally owned neighborhood lawn care, pest control, and tree care expert right here in Central Illinois. Not cookie-cutter treatments, real tailored care from professionals who live and work where you do. So your lawn, greener, your trees, healthier, your backyard, ready for everything spring throws at it? Visit spring-green.com and see what your yard's been missing. Spring Green, local, trusted, growing strong since 1977.
Hey, we're looking for a couple of really professional drivers that know the ropes and would like to get a home where they're treated with respect, getting home every weekend, making a good wage, and doing the right things safely. Yeah.
Awesome. 2 people. All right. And how would they connect with you for that?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com or 765-793-7131 extension 4, or even my cell phone right now, 765-505-1295.
And then for dedicated diesel off Route 45 on Triumph Drive, as you're driving toward Rantoulby on the left-hand side, you'll find dedicated diesel. What do you offer there?
Hey, we've got a couple of good mechanics in, trailer mechanic and a tractor mechanic right now. We're doing DOT annual inspections, trailer repair, truck repair, just whatever you need, we can take care of.
Wow, that's really nice to know because, we have to drive into some other cities. Not convenient. You can't get all that done here in Urbana at dedicated diesel.
Hi, this is Damon Hackelman, owner of Clean Right in Champaign. When disaster strikes your home or business, you have choices for emergency restoration services in Champaign County, and we're honored every time you choose us. At Clean Right, you're not calling a big national chain, you're calling a family-owned and operated company with deep roots right here in the community. We treat every customer like a neighbor, because chances are you are. Whether it's water damage, fire, storms, or unexpected emergencies, our certified and experienced technicians are ready with a 24/7 rapid response. We work alongside trusted expert partners to make the restoration process smooth and stress-free, guiding you every step of the way. Our goal is simple: to return your home or business to safe, clean, like-new condition as quickly and painlessly as possible. Learn more or request services anytime at cleanright.net. Clean Right, restoring properties and peace of mind across Champaign County.
Everyone knows that when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 for PDR Automotive. But did you also know that if you don't have a key and you need it to run, call 367-9481. PDR now performs key cutting with programming. PDR also performs module cloning. Cloning makes that module plug and play, in many cases allowing you to utilize a used module where a new module is no longer available or very expensive. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Flooring Surfaces is ready for your next renovation. We stock football fields for the flooring in our Champaign warehouse. Porcelain tile with large formats, dozens of options, all in stock, along with Cushion Tech waterproof vinyl, and deals on closeout backsplash tile. And don't forget about premium thin sets, performance grouts, tools, trowels, and adhesives. Flooring Surfaces is your local supplier for all kinds of in-stock flooring. See us today at 401 Mercury Drive in Champaign.
Flooring Surfaces, your first stop.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Welcome back. The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. You hear that, Blackwell? You can just jump around right on over here to Champaign. It's beautiful this time of year. There's a lot of exotic, foreign, teammates that I'm sure that you would love to hang out with. I'm sure he's listening. Evan Stone here, Kyle Tosk. Let's do a quick little run through the sports world as a whole. There's a lot of things coming out. You've probably heard a lot of this, but just so we got it all at the same place. First things first. Ex-Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore not going to jail. Shocking, honestly. Gets 18 months of probation in the whole situation that's going on there. Not really sure how that works out. If you've been living under a rock, there was a photo that came out of Mike Vrabel, head coach of the New England Patriots, Super Bowl losing head coach of the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, and Diana Rossini from The Athletic, who's an awesome reporter. I mean, she does really good work there. They were holding hands, and not as in like, oh, that's just a still shot of a high five. They were interdigitated. Like the fingers were.
That's one I have not heard before.
It was full interdigitation in this photo, and Diana Rossini has resigned from The Athletic. Does Mike Vrabel now resign from the Patriots?
I doubt it.
No. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not really sure.
It is interesting how that whole thing is gone.
It seems like one of them is getting punished more than the other. Anyways, Eagles GM Howie Roseman, even though they made a move for Dontavian Wicks, Packers wide receiver, he is very angry at people continuing to ask him on their position on A.J. Brown. And is he available? And he continues to yell at people that A.J. Brown is an Eagle and he will remain an Eagle. Thoughts?
I thought A.J. Brown was done at the end of last year when that whole social media thing was going on, and that seems like...
Would you like A.J. Brown in Miami?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it makes sense for the Dolphins right now, but as a player, yes, I would like to have A.J. Brown on my football team.
I wonder if you could get it. Obviously, Howie does not want to give him up for cheap. But I feel like there's got to be some sort of a discount disruption deal that's got to be coming up. Anyways, coming down, Iowa football has to vacate 4 victories from the 2023 season for tampering with quarterback Cade McNamara before he entered the transfer portal coming from Michigan. Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz, I can tell you right now, is quote unquote disappointed with the ruling. So take that for whatever you would have. Bronny's Nike B9 logo trademark filing denied. So he does not get his own logo, unlike his pops. And then finally, college football, the way too early top 25 spring update. 8 Big Ten teams have found their way into the way too early top 25 for college football. The Illini are not one of them. So not a lot of faith in a lot of what the Illini are seemingly needing to replace, which I get. I understand.
I think that's fair this season.
You're gonna have to prove it on the field. Which then takes us to J Money. who asked the question, Illinois football gets a big decommit this past week. Camden Lopati, if you've not been paying attention, was the number 2 overall quarterback in the class of 20. Let's see, where are we at? 27?
Yes.
Yes. The years are just flying by. So next year, the class of 27, he's a senior in high school this year, has been committed to Illinois for over a year. And I think just under a year,
right.
Last summer,
yes,
he committed to Illinois, spent the whole season committed to Illinois, had a great relationship from what I've heard with Art Sikowski. But then the big dogs came calling, Notre Dame, Michigan, sniffing around, and officially this past week, he decommits from the Illini. And the question, sorry, computer once again is trying to load, that J Money specifically asked is, who do we pick up now? And I think the answer to that question, Big Def said this he texted in a day or so ago, and I think he's pretty much right. When you look at prep high school quarterbacks, that's not necessarily a position where you're like, oh, crap, now we got to fill this recruiting need.
Absolutely.
I don't know if prep quarterbacks are necessarily as important as – actually, I know. They're not as important as they used to be in the past. Now, if you can get one and stash one and a guy who you think is legit going to be a guy that you can develop and all of that, but it seems like the world that we have found ourselves in today is the idea of having a young quarterback – taking the reins might be done.
Yes, and I think Illinois has 2 good young options if that was the path that they would want to go with Carson Boyd and Michael Clayton. So I don't think it's a need for them necessarily to say, hey, we lost Lopati, now we got to scramble and go get the next guy in this same class. First of all, most of them are already signed.
Yes.
Like any Camden Lopati was a blue chip type of quarterback prospect.
Yes.
That's why Michigan and Notre Dame came calling and why he's likely headed to Michigan now. I think Illinois is in a position where they have 2 young prospects they feel pretty good about, and if they don't feel comfortable with either of those guys come next year, then you can go back in the transfer portal. And then they've proven that they have a pretty good portal sell to quarterbacks here lately too.
I was just about to say, I mean, Coach Bielema has an incredible sell. Like you're a transfer guy who might be you're seasoned, you're a veteran, you have talent. Maybe you haven't had the right platform to show it. You want to go to the NFL, Illinois is the place to come. As you look at the guys and what they've done the last few quarterbacks that they've had, even a guy like John Paddock who came in and because of his performance here, got some training camp invites, some off-season invites to go and get a sniff at the NFL, which he never would have got if he would have stayed in the position that he was. So you got a heck of a sell here for transfer quarterbacks, and I think that's the move going forward. I've been very upfront on this show that I'm a big Michael Clayton fan. I think he's the guy of the future. You let Caden Hauser run this year, and then next year you've got a guy in Michael Clayton or Carson Boyd, who I also think is a great talent, who have been in this program, this organization now for multiple years, and you feel good about.
I know Illinois really likes Boyd and feels like he's probably the guy next year, at least in their ideal world. But, yeah, I think you've got that internal competition there with 2 young guys who I think both have really high potential. The only thing with Carson Boyd, like he's all the talent in the world, he's just small. Like
he's small.
Is he big enough to play at the Big Ten level? Michael Clayton's definitely got that to him, 6'4", 200 pounds. Like you've got 2 really good options that are a little bit different. And if you feel like you head into the offseason next year and need to bring in veteran competition or just straight up go get another Caden Hauser type of guy, I think Illinois is in a good position to do that. So I don't think, while losing Camden Lopati certainly is disappointing and not being able to bring in a guy of that talent level, which could have been a program-changing type of quarterback you could plug and play. It's not a death sentence to where this program is at right now. It's not a situation where now you're left without any options going forward at quarterback.
Yes, I would agree. This is not a death sentence. Or if you want to go way back in the day, it's not a knife to the heart of the program. It might not be ideal. Kyle, you know that saying, or are you a little young for that? Let's see. That would have been in 2014. What were you doing in 2014?
I was 10 years old, just hanging out, watching a little Illinois.
That's like one of the craziest seasons as an Illinois fan. Do you know the story?
I'm familiar.
Interim AD. They fire the AD, fire the coach. Interim AD decides, hey, we're just going to bring a football coach back on a 1-year deal. It's not ideal, but it's also not a knife to the heart of the program, which was the phrase in the press conference. And I think everybody in that moment thought, yeah, this makes sense. This is what we deserve. This is who we are. So, that's not what we're looking at here. But, yeah, the Illini not making the way too early, top 25, which I do believe makes sense. But at the same time, I don't think it'll take long next year to potentially pop up into that top 25 because I really am high, especially on this team offensively. I think you're going to be really good offensively, maybe even, I dare say, better than last year. I don't know, but all the pieces of the puzzle are there to be better offensively than you were last year. Now, defensively, you have a schematic change. You're trying to fit a bunch of those pieces back into a new puzzle, bringing new guys in. We'll see how that all comes together.
That's really what's going to define your season is what does that defense look like? How soon can Bobby Howe come in and implement what he wants to do? What does this scheme do in the Big Ten? Does it accomplish what it's intended to do and be as different as it is than most other teams are running? Can that give Illinois the first year boost before teams really get familiar with it to overcome some of the talent deficiency? I think, especially up front. Like I think there's guys there that you feel okay about, but I have a lot of questions about if this defensive line in particular, if this front seven in particular can hold up in the Big Ten. Because I love the back end. I just worry about, does Illinois have enough up front, and can the scheme mask that, or is it going to be an issue for Illinois that ultimately holds it back from an offense that I do agree with you, I think is going to be just fine. I think they're going to score next year, but it all comes down to what does this defense look like, and what does Bobby Howe come in and is able to do in his first year with a talent pool that's probably not quite to what you would want it to be at certain spots.
I would agree. I'm not sold on the sizing of the defensive line right now.
It's very small.
It is a small defensive line. That doesn't mean maybe they're going to be super nasty. I don't know. Like just relentless. And one of the things when you've got a defensive line, a bunch of guys in this room right now that maybe one doesn't jump out above some of the others, maybe that means that you've got extra rotational freshness on that defensive line. So where you might lack star power, maybe you make up for in depth and the ability to you get to the fourth quarter and you're still super fresh. I'm not sure what that is going to look like. I think everybody is excited. What if they come out in end of August, September in like a 4-3?
That would be pretty hilarious.
I would love for Bielema to troll everybody, and that first series you just come out in like a bare 4-6. That would be awesome.
Or do you save that? You come out and you play your 3-3-5 early, and then it's just like, and then Duke is preparing for that, and you're just like, no, that was who they play in week one, like.
Oh, it's got to be
Western Illinois or whoever it is. I wish I remembered that, but it's like
I can't remember. I just switched from March Madness brain.
Me too.
So I have not. I have
totally
not locked back in. But
there will be a time for me to dive into the Illinois football schedule. It hasn't quite arrived yet.
Hasn't? Yeah, I feel bad that I haven't, but it is what it is when it is. So. I know they're not playing in that infamous week 0 game. And I also know they're not going to Ireland. Do you know what the Ireland game is this year?
I don't. Big Ten team?
It's not, but it is also, it's exactly who you think it would be. It's North Carolina and TCU.
Belichick.
A lot of horned frog.
Rematch from last year, Belichick's first game there, where it was a complete disaster.
Man, I forgot about that game because it's like North Carolina right away went down and scored or tied it, whatever, and then TCU just said, "It's okay, we'll take this game."
45-0 after that score, I think. That opening drive touchdown.
Yes. UAB, that's who I'm trying to. UAB is Illinois' opening game. Now, I think it's a little bit underspoken of how Bill Belichick kind of redeemed that North Carolina season a little. Like, it wasn't as disastrous as it started. I still don't think he's good, but it was not as disastrous. So, yeah, you open with UAB at home, Duke at home, Southern Illinois at home, and then you go to Ohio State, home against Purdue. Oh, that's right. This is the year of every other. So, to Ohio State, home Purdue. To Michigan State, home Oregon. To Maryland, home Nebraska. To UCLA, home Iowa. To Northwestern.
I totally forgot about that there's no back-to-back. After the first three, there's no back-to-back home or road, the whole schedule.
Yep.
It's kind of unique. I can't remember that happening since I've certainly been here even before that.
I wish they would just front load Big Ten home games so we get good tailgate weather for those Big Ten. I'm telling you, last year, the USC game, it was like the most picture-perfect day of college football that has ever existed. It was beautiful weather. You had a big-time, big noon kickoff was there.
Ohio State was pretty dang good, too. I mean, it was a pretty good year.
But you beat USC.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. The only thing that kind of ruined it is you're coming off the Indiana game, and everybody was having a little bit of an existential crisis of, oh, gosh, what's going to happen? Michael in Charleston says, when the great Arch Manning spent 2 years on the bench, the high school quarterbacks aren't as important as they were before the transfer portal and NIL era.
It's future Miami Dolphin quarterback Arch Manning you're talking about there.
Oh, man. Speaking of future, we have a couple more of your texts to get to. We're going to catch a break right here. And when we come back, we've got your texts on the Maxwell City Recycling text line, 217-359-2255. Hit us up. It is The Drive.
This is Paul Reekin with Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. This April, pick any day of the month. Don't miss our spring cleaning, scratch and dent, and or discontinued sale event of the century. We're talking 50, 60, 70% off the already reduced price.
Wow!
Now's the time to replace that dishwasher that's barely washing dishes. Here we have a dishwasher with a small dent on the door. Your kids are playing football in the kitchen every night while you're making dinner. It's going to get dented anyway. Now you have a fully functional dishwasher and you saved $400. How about a refrigerator? Last year's model, not a single scratch. Save yourself $1,000 and put it towards the family summer vacation. Awesome! A new vent hood above your range. Be honest, you haven't looked at those grease filters since the late 90s. Buy a closeout hood and watch it shine from a room over for the next quarter century. It's the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Spring Cleaning, Scratch and Dent, and or discontinued closeout appliance sale of the century. You don't have to rush. The sale is going on the whole month of April. Unless it's April 29th, you might want to hurry.
Wow!
Hi, this is Damon Hackelman, owner of Clean Ride in Champaign. As winter fades and spring rains move in, melting snow, heavy storms, and stressed pipes can quickly turn into flooding and water damage for homes and businesses across Champaign County. When water shows up where it shouldn't, every minute matters. At Clean Right, we're a family-owned and operated company with deep roots in this community, and we're ready with a 24/7 emergency response. Our certified, experienced technicians arrive fast to assess the damage and start the restoration process right away. Whether it's a flooded basement, burst pipe, or storm damage, we work to make the recovery quick and as stress-free as possible. Our mission is to return your property to clean, safe, like new condition, so you can get back to normal. We work alongside trusted expert partners to make the restoration process smooth and stress-free, guiding you every step of the way. Learn more or request emergency service anytime at cleanright.net.
Hi, Ellen Hook here, owner of your local Ashley. Take advantage of our 48-hour flash sale. Living room, dining room, bedroom, mattresses, massage chairs, tables, home decor, and more. Take 20% off everything in the store, plus an additional 10% off all patio and outdoor furniture, and an extra 50% off clearance items. Hurry into Ashley's 48-hour flash sale today. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. this Wednesday and Thursday, our 48-hour flash sale at Ashley, April 15th and 16th.
Looking for a great place to relax, grab a bite, and have some fun? Head to the Ambrose Sports Bar and Grill in Villa Grove. This well-furnished hometown tavern has something for everyone. Enjoy great food, a full bar, and a welcoming, family-friendly atmosphere. Step outside to the outdoor patio, challenge your friends on the golf simulator, or check out the full game room. Whether you're stopping in with the kids for dinner or meeting friends for a drink and some gaming machines, Ambrose Sports Bar and Grill is the place to be. Ambrose Sports Bar and Grill in Villa Grove. Good food, good fun, and good times waiting for you. When your operation can't afford downtime, call the people who treat your business like their own. At Freedom Fabrication and Millwrights, you're working with over 150 years of combined industry experience, handling everything from on-site repairs to complete turnkey facility solutions. Call Richard and Selena for your next project, whether it's custom fabrication, emergency field repairs, or full system installation. They're also your local dealer for Chief Crane Systems. Call 217-574-5050. Freedom Fabrication and Millwrights. Experience you can count on. People you can trust.
Champaign-Urbana Ballet makes a big splash with The Little Mermaid on May 1st and 2nd at the Virginia Theater. Glamorous and amusing, this magical adventure is one for the whole family. Sponsored by Area Wide Technologies, Bill Bass Foundation, Champaign Ballet Academy, Stone Ridge Dairy, and 2 Men and a Truck. Tickets at Virginia Theater box office or visit thevirginia.org. Join CU Ballet Under the Sea with The Little Mermaid.
Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Welcome back. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. I'm not near professional enough to do all. This is why Curtis doesn't let me do these intros and welcome backs and all, because I say the same thing every time. Heath on the Maximum City Recycling text line, though. Great question. Missed the first couple of minutes. Kyle, how do you feel about nicknames people are giving you?
There were a lot of them. there were many of them the other day. There were some good ones. I do like yours a lot, and I'll let you.
Well, there were quite a few. Toski
Wow Wow.
Toski Wow Wow was one. Heath brought up
Tosk Torpedo.
Now, this is if you got breaking news.
Right.
You know, like the Waj bomb.
It started as like trying to replace. So Derek Piper had pipe bombs, right? That's fantastic. It's hard to top that.
Yeah.
So that it started as a question of once I start, giving scoops and stuff like that, what's the nickname for that? And then it just evolved into a bunch of puns and nicknames that meant nothing, that had nothing to do with that. They were just random stuff. And
yeah, I'm privy to Molotov's cocktail myself.
I really like that one.
It's a little bit of a mouthful if you say it fast a lot of times, but typing it just clicks. And then I just think every time you break some news, you just add a little gif of which I say gif of Molotov's.
GIF is the correct way to say it, by the way.
Curtis is way too polite to the guy who created it, and apparently it's GIF. But there's no way that can actually be real. How about Tosk Salad, where he just talks about random sports news, 217 texter? I don't think I like that one even a little bit. I think that's way too close to a different innuendo that Kyle would probably prefer not to be connected with. Big Def has a great breakdown here, 335. The thing that scares me on your quote up front, end quote, discussion is a 335 nose tackle doesn't even necessarily call for that traditional size you'd expect in a 3-4 because you're one gapping him so much. Right, Kyle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why it's great. It's a great big nickel sub package in 2 minutes and obvious passing downs, but brutal as a base look in power 4. I think that's what we're worried about is that base, that like mid game, as a team just begins running the ball, trying to take, time off the clock. But he said, you're right. I hope they roll down into a 4-3 and a 4-2-5. Like, I'm not going to say what you said there, Big Diff. I'm not going to encourage it. But most of the time, more than half of the time from huddle to snap. Yeah, I do think, and this is what the coaches have talked about quite a bit, there is going to be a lot of movement. Like when you are playing Madden and you go 3-3-5, that's not what this is going to look like. But it will be fascinating. Do you play Madden?
I do.
Hey. On what system?
PS5.
Me too. Dude, we should get a little dynasty. We need to get I'm trying to get 32 people. If we can get 32 people in a dynasty together, that's got to be perfection.
Now, I don't know how you actually move forward in that dynasty with 32 different people on 32 different schedules, but the concept of it sounds great.
Commitment. It's a commitment. You'd have to drop everything else for this. We do everything on Thursdays. So clear your schedule. Thursday's the day. If you're in, hit us up. Maximum City Recycling.
You on college football?
I am.
Yeah.
I honestly 128 person dynasty. Is that what we're trying to get to right now?
That is going to be a little bit difficult, but hey, we'll shoot high.
Yeah. Do you like it?
Yeah. I mean, when it first came out, it was like the greatest thing ever. I spent like 10 straight hours on that thing.
Because once again, did you play any of the older ones?
I barely did.
Okay.
I remember one of my friends, what was it, Xbox 360?
That's
maybe?
the thing, yeah.
That they had it on, 14, and I used to play it a little bit, but I never owned any of the previous college footballs until the new ones came out. So I was addicted. When it first came out, it was like I could not get off that thing. Then this year, it was the same game pretty much, just new rosters.
Yeah.
It kind of lost its luster a little bit, but once you get into college football season, you can get going on that thing pretty hard.
Dude, there's just something about a nice, if it's your bye week, a bye week Saturday, you got game day on one TV, you got NCAA fired up on another one. Tyler on the text line from Monticello. Kyle, did you play any sports in high school?
I played basketball for a little while, and then I played tennis throughout high school.
Doubles, singles, both?
Both. Yeah, mainly doubles.
Do you prefer doubles?
I prefer singles, but you had to be we had basically 4 singles players, and then the rest just played doubles. So you had to be a top 4 player to get a singles assignment. I wasn't.
So you weren't there. Okay, all right. That makes sense.
I occasionally got some singles matches, but I was mainly a doubles player.
Do you still play tennis? You try to get out there?
Occasionally. Not as much as I wish I did, but
pickleball?
I try to. Pickleball, I've never gotten into pickleball, but I really want to. I just need the right partners to play with.
If you try to pick up, this is what happened to me.
I don't know enough people that play it. That's the problem.
Really? I feel like pickleball is popping off on campus. No?
I guess it's just not
I'll
the
let
people
you know
I know
when we're out there. Yeah, that's the problem that I ran into is when I tried to get into pickleball, I was getting into it with someone who was a rated player who was awesome. And they spent one day explaining technique and rules and strategy, and then from then on out, they were like, "Figure it out!" And I was like, "This game sucks. I'm having zero fun playing this game." Look at that! Austin and St. Joe said, "I'll play pickleball with you, Kyle."
All right, let's do it.
Ping pong?
Yes.
How much does tennis translate to?
It really doesn't, to be honest. I mean, there's elements of it, but it's kind of entirely different. You're holding a small paddle, the movements are different, the spin is completely different, how you're trying to spin the ball. It helps a little, but not as much as you would think.
Yeah, I would have to imagine the technique is very different.
Yes.
But the idea of the hand-eye coordination with the movement and the motion and just the way that it connects with your brain, It's got to help. We get every Sunday. We do Sunday lunch at my in-laws' house, and they've got a ping pong table, and it gets crazy. And we play doubles, and I'm by far the worst person there. And once again, don't have a lot of fun, but I'm there because if I'm not there, they only have 3 people. So this past weekend, Matt, did you watch the Masters?
I did.
Did you have someone you were rooting for? How do you feel about Rory going back to back?
I've always liked Rory. I thought it was cool. I mean, I was worried after Friday that I'm like, okay, this is going to be a snooze fest of a weekend. Rory's going to win by 10 strokes. And then it got interesting by the end. But I have no problem with Rory winning back to back. I kind of anticipated that might happen because it was just the buildup of last year and all the pressure that was on him. Then to finally kind of just get that off of his shoulders and then come into this one like, hey, I'm back and let's go win another one. But I'm not stressing over it. I felt like, I know he kind of got into some trouble there in the last 2 days, but it felt like he kind of came into it with just a very free approach and scary player.
When Scotty started making a move.
I know, he came so close. That putt that putt on 17 on Sunday.
That literally sat on the edge. I thought when Scotty started making his move, and it's so interesting because when you watch the Masters, which I knew this, but I had not really actually thought about it. Because, they take your phone. Like, you can't have your phone as a spectator at the Masters, right? Like, if you're in the gallery, if you're watching, you have no phones, which means you also don't really know what else is going on. Like, you're scoreboard watching.
You have to wait until the manual scoreboard changes.
Then just watching, like, as it changes, and you could see people as Scotty's number just kept, and they're like, oh, and sometimes you'd hear a roar, and it's not someone hitting a putt. It's literally just the scoreboard changing. I thought Rory's he's gonna crack. Like, he's gonna break. And then when he drove 18 into a different fairway, I thought, boy, he really wants to make this interesting. But
there was pretty much the whole weekend he could not hit a drive straight, though. I mean, he was scrambling the entire weekend, and somehow it never really caught up to him.
Yeah. There was, let's see, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was chipping. I mean, it was one of the guys who were in that -10, -11 that were making a run, and then they fell apart. Who was that? Young. So Young is up there. He's trying to chip up. He's just off the green, trying to chip up, and he duffs it like crazy, and it rolls off. And I'm like, makes me feel good. I'm like, that. I know that shot. I've seen that quite a bunch here. Big Def's got a nickname. When you were on with your dad that time in the Tay and Piper days, and you sounded so similar together, I wanted you two to start a pod together called Walkie Toskies.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Is that in the works?
It isn't, but might have to get on that.
Is your dad a podcast guy? Does he listen?
He listens. He doesn't.
Well, yeah, I would assume he's not.
Right.
If he were to start a podcast, what would it be about?
Probably just be about the Miami Dolphins and the Cubs and just going off about sports, really.
So where this is a good question here. Where did the Miami Dolphins come into your family?
It was literally just my dad as a kid. He has 3 siblings, 2 brothers, all Bears fans. And he just decided he loved Dan Marino. That was his favorite player, but he also liked the Dolphins uniforms and color scheme. And he's just like, that's my team when he was like 5 years old, and just stuck with it.
So wait, 5 years, how old is your dad? Was he around for the perfect season?
He was.
That's 72, right?
72. He was 5 years old during that year.
Oh,
so
well,
he
that's
actually,
the year. Yeah,
he did. I don't think he, it was, it wasn't like exactly 5 years old, but it was when he was young.
Yeah.
It was in that era. But yeah, he just kind of jumped on the Dolphins bandwagon and never left it.
I always root for the Dolphins because we're friends now. So I'm always like, I want my friends to be happy. But I'm a big kickball dad. Do you know Kickball Dad? Have you seen that guy?
I have not.
What? I'm gonna have to. But he's a huge Dolphins fan, and he's one of my favorite people on all of social media. He's who I aspire to be, as I keep growing up. So you'll have to kickball dad. Yeah, he's just like he's the goofiest, like stereotypical, like white suburban dad who is a sneakily really good athlete, but he's just goofy. Like he loves to mow his lawn. He loves to whatever. He goes for walks around the neighborhood and he carries a football with him and he throws it at signs and they can't go on to the next one until they hit this. Like he's just that, but he's diehard Dolphins. So I always want him to be happy.
Don't think he will be this year, but maybe someday. It's rough right now.
What do you want the Dolphins to do in the draft?
Anything. Take any whoever the best player available is, that will be the pick because they need other than quarterback kind of right now, at least with Malik Willis, they need just about every position.
I just read one of the mock drafts that were coming out, and it essentially was like, this is what the Dolphins should do. Trade every single pick this year for 27 picks. Like, let's just trade everything we have this year to just have as many picks as we could possibly have for next year, and then let's roll with that.
I wouldn't hate that because this is not the year to have 2 first-rounders like they have, and I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I would expect them to probably be picking top 3 next year. Will that be quarterback? Will it not be quarterback? Will be really interesting.
Do they have any other piece to, like, offload? To trade? Like, is there any more assets that they're like, oh, this could be an interesting piece that someone else might want?
Devon Achane would be the one.
And they already said no.
They basically said he's not available,
untouchable.
Which I love the guy, but untouchable for a running back.
I was about to say, how many
in
years?
This stage,
how old is he now?
He doesn't have an extension right now. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're
still
obviously
first contract.
They're trying to extend him, but
yeah,
not sure if that's the position that I would be building my first building block with. I wouldn't mind. I'd be okay if he was shopped.
Well, your first building block is Malik.
Yeah.
There you go.
See. I mean, again, I said it when you guys asked me whenever that was. I think it was a worthy gamble to take with Malik Willis. Now, he's got nothing to work with at receiver. That's going to be the interesting
Who's
thing.
the number one receiver right now? Is it?
Can you name a receiver on the Dolphins? Is a really
so here's the thing. Where's Waddle now?
Denver.
Yeah, that's right. I knew he went west.
Can anybody on the text line name a receiver on the Dolphins?
Well, they're going to start
roster?
Googling. Our text line is full of cheaters. They have no honor. Robbie Chosen.
No, that was an interesting stint when he was on the Dolphins for about 6 games.
So you're wrong. So Tutu Atwell. Is he there?
He is.
Is that who they got back in the Waddle? Wasn't he? No.
They just signed him to a 1-year deal.
Where was he at last year?
I don't know.
He was
started with the Rams, but
maybe that's who it was. This is interesting radio.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares about this, actually. So
that one white guy. Literally, I almost said that. I was like, surely there's a white guy that they got running out at receiver because it's who's left in the building. They're like, who's sneakily athletic and a hard worker? First one in, last one out. Let's get that guy. Yeah, I still think the Dolphins got some of the best color schemes and fun.
That's the one thing they got going for them. Now they just need to make those throwback uniforms permanent.
Yeah, why? Sometimes whatever. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, we should stop. Roller basketball.
We did one of our drafts, which people were asking. We postponed Tuesday draft this week just because everybody's gone. I didn't want to pull Kyle into a random
2-person draft. That would have been entertaining.
That would have been wild. But we did a draft one week of jerseys, uniforms, best looking, and all of that. Cooper was doing really good until he took North Carolina basketball. And then he didn't know the hatred that was there, and it turned on him real fast. Dolphins were in my list, but the Tampa Bay creamsicle jerseys.
Those are great.
And I lost. I don't know what happened. It's because Curtis took all the Chicago teams. He took Blackhawks, Bears, Cubs.
Bears?
Like, what are we doing?
Is
the Bears?
I get that they're classic, but like
that's
Bears,
what I said.
Are the Bears uniforms anything special?
No.
The Cubs uniforms are nothing special at all.
I get the pinstripes.
Yeah, but
they're stolen from the Yankees, who I drafted. Anyways, I'm over it. Let me get a moment to think. We're going to take our last break here, and then when we come back, some more of your texts that we're going to get to. This is The Drive.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
It's head coach Tyra Perry with Fighting Illini Softball. Join us at Eichelberger Field this season for exciting softball and great promotions. Enjoy our season-long concession deals. We have Triple Play Tuesday with a pretzel, candy, and drink for only $10. We have $7 Walking Taco Wednesdays and Family Friday with 4 hot dogs, 4 boxes of popcorn, and 4 drinks for $40. For more information about our game-specific promotions, visit fightingillini.com/promotions.
Former Illini Terrence Shannon Jr. of the Minnesota Timberwolves about Ben Quattrone from Sarah Champagne. What kind of friend has he been?
Unbelievable. Ever since I came to this dealership, me and Ben had interactions. He's been a great person this whole time. It still is. I always would recommend him to anybody about a car or anything. He's always going to be there for you no matter what. He always be behind you. He's just a great person.
Visit sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
This is Paul Reekin with Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. This April, pick any day of the month. Don't miss our spring cleaning, scratch and dent, and or discontinued sale event of the century. We're talking 50, 60, 70% off the already reduced price. Wow! Now's the time to replace that dishwasher that's barely washing dishes. Here we have a dishwasher with a small dent on the door. Your kids are playing football in the kitchen every night while you're making dinner. It's going to get dented anyway. Now you have a fully functional dishwasher and you saved $400. How about a refrigerator? Last year's model, not a single scratch. Save yourself $1,000 and put it towards the family summer vacation. Awesome! A new vent hood above your range. Be honest, you haven't looked at those grease filters since the late 90s. Buy a closeout hood and watch it shine from a room over for the next quarter century. It's the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Spring Cleaning, Scratch and Dent, and or discontinued closeout appliance sale of the century. You don't have to rush. The sale is going on the whole month of April. Unless it's April 29th, you might want to hurry. Wow!
Here's a tip for your next flooring project. Bring your photos to the new showroom at Flooring Surfaces. Our dedicated team can design an incredible look using a showroom filled with the latest fashions and innovations in floor covering, colorful ceramic tiles, performance vinyls, large format porcelains, fine wool carpets. If you saw it on your phone, make it a reality at Flooring Surfaces. Just call 217-398-1990 to schedule your design consultation today.
Flooring Surfaces, your first stop.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Welcome back. This is The Drive. Just a reminder that this afternoon we do have Cardinals baseball right here on ESPN Radio 93.5, your affiliate for the St. Louis Cardinals, as they are continuing a series against a team called Cleveland, the Guardians. That's who it is. You got McGreevy on the mound tonight. Cardinals are 8-8. They're 5-5 at home, so they're really directly 500. And as the ESPN.com app tells me, you can get tickets tonight to this game for as low as $13. Kyle, you been to Busch?
I've never been to a game at Busch.
Really?
I don't know how that's happened.
A lot of seats.
A lot of seats right now.
A lot of tickets available for... Actually, you know what? This is a question on the Maximum City Recycling text line right now, because I know at the end of last year, kind of middle towards the end of last year, Cardinal fans were definitely like, hey, we're not coming because of what you're doing, because of how you've run this organization. Like, we're out. Because I went to a Cubs-Cardinals game in, it was probably August, early August, late July, and there was nobody there.
I remember watching that.
Nobody there. How has it been this year? Are people back in at the beginning of this year with all the transition and the changes, or are people still
I would
out?
imagine there has to be at least some hope now of like, okay, we've officially made the transition now in the front office. We realize that this season is not a competitive season, but there's still things to be excited about. There's young hitters in that lineup. Jordan Walker's figured it out finally. You got J.J. Weatherhold on the opening day roster. Like, there's some things to get behind for the future here, and at least a sense of like, okay, we've ripped the Band-Aid off. The Mozeliak era is finally over. Now we can look forward. I would at least think that there's some sort of renewed sense of hope in Cardinal fans for what's ahead. Even if this team isn't one that's drawn you to the ballpark, you feel like you'll be back in the near future.
Well, I had a buddy of mine who's been on the show a couple of times, Jeremiah. Shout out Jeremiah, who's big Cardinals fan. If I get any Cardinals information, this is where it comes from. And he said, I was like, okay, let's get a just kind of an update as a whole. He said, for the state of the whole team, though, I would say Cardinals fans are having a lot more fun than they thought they would this year. They're 500 right now, which for me going into the season was best case scenario. The team has way more personality, and you can start to see what the long term is going to look like now that the stuffy front office of the past is gone. But what's interesting is that I do not believe that Chaim Bloom is going to go out and get any pieces they would need to compete this year. Their bullpen is atrocious. That's a good word. Aside from a couple of guys at the back end, and they really could be calling up a couple of studs from the minors, but I think Bloom is going to stay the course and not sacrifice anything long-term just so that this team could potentially win 5 or 6 more games this year.
That's the right way to do it, too. You can't argue with that.
That's the right way to do it when you're not in charge. But, man, there's got to be such a temptation of just like, but maybe.
Well, you got to let it play out a lot longer than what's happened so far in April, too. We'll see where the Cardinals are at early July, whatnot.
There's only 150 more games.
Exactly.
So
we'll say Cardinals fans are probably having more fun than me right now, though. The Cubs look terrible. They look awful so far.
And I don't even know what to put my finger on. Because it's everything.
It's been everything, because now your starting rotation is a mess, because Horton's done for the year. Matthew Boyd's hurt. Steele's not coming back anytime soon.
Have you seen an update on Steele?
I really haven't.
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah,
which makes me nervous.
Before the season, they were hoping June for him, but we'll see.
Radio silence on an injury is never on rehab.
Yeah,
is never ideal. So
but their lineup has been really bad so far.
Yeah, offensively. I was trying to pin it on they're just playing in a frozen tundra for a couple of weeks, and it's not real baseball, and nobody's having a good time, so it's whatever. But then you go down to Florida, and you have some warm games, and you still suck.
Yeah,
it's a long season.
It is. I'm not sounding the alarms, but it has not been enjoyable to watch them play so far. I was transitioning back into I didn't really catch like the first week of the season because I was just in Final Four mode at that point. And then here the last week or two, I've started to kind of shift my mind into baseball mode, and it hasn't been pleasant. Really hasn't so far. So I'm hoping that changes in the summer.
So just not what I'm hearing is you're just kind of Final Four game 1 of 160.
Yes.
Like
there's a little bit of a different
all right.
weight that I put on those two, but
okay, Big Def. Sorry, Big Def sent in text. I can't read those on the air, dude. I think we're gonna see the Brewers are coming back to earth a little bit.
they are, and they're really hurt too already. Yelich is hurt. Churrio's hurt.
So I don't. Yeah, thanks, Big Def. Not to be read aloud. I knew that. I'm professional enough. What'll be interesting is I'm interested to see what the Reds do this year.
Yeah, them, and honestly Pittsburgh too. Like
Pittsburgh looks fun.
They got a little something there. They got some young pieces there. Connor Griffin, the big leagues now hasn't done anything yet, but he's supposed to be a stud. And then I'm kind of scared of that pitching staff too, with Skeens at the front.
Well, and I feel like Skeens hasn't even got rolling.
He hasn't.
Like they've got out to this start, take 2 of 3 in Chicago. And
O'Neal Cruz has kind of finally put it together. He's hitting rockets at Wrigley. My God.
I think this is the thing that's a little bit, because even in St. Louis, then Pittsburgh, and you're seeing these organizations, they got these young guys that are like really exciting and awesome. And then you look at Chicago and you're like, how long is it going to take for these guys? But coming up here soon, we've got Coach Shauna Green is going to join us. Going to talk a little bit about the women's basketball team, transfer portal, getting a big target, and then what this season was like. And had the youngest team in basketball. How fun was that?